Which brings us to the 10-minute rule motion. Kirsteen Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to require that personal protective equipment procured and provided by public sector and associated bodies must comply with standard BS 30417 2025 or an equivalent specified standard and for connected purposes. I bring this bill to the House today as a proud member of the GMB Union. We all know the importance of personal protective equipment. It is the final defence against unavoidable risks in the workplace. But what's not always appreciated is that employees across the UK are routinely working without fit-to-form PPE, compromising safety and hindering productivity. BS 30417, developed by the British Standards Institution, is guidance that puts fit-to-form PPE as a consideration at every stage of purchasing, supply and use. Madam Deputy Speaker, our workforce is not homogeneous. Employees are not all male, 5'9" and 85 kilos, and even then, PPE is often designed for a taller man. Whether preparing food, handling chemicals, building houses, healing patients or fighting fires, too many are given inadequate PPE. Boots too big, they become trip hazards. Gloves too large, they can't grip properly, or high-vis jackets so cumbersome they restrict movement. While some employers offer inclusive PPE, it's time for us to put our money where our mouth is. Enshrining the BSI's new PPE standard or the industry equivalent in public procurement sends a very clear message to employers and manufacturers that the future of work and PPE is inclusive. Over the past year and a half, I have met with women across industries, health services, firefighters, police, armed services, engineering. They are exasperated at poor fit PPE and often the ridicule that comes with it. Take something as simple as sizing. The smallest glove size available on the market is still too large for 86% of female hands. That's not just inconvenient and cumbersome, it's unsafe. Many women doing training drills on ladders, handling hoses and ropes, find them impossible as the gloves are simply too big to allow for a secure grip. Running into a burning building is something few of us would ever want to face, but our firefighters do this daily. Amidst an attack, running towards danger is something few of us would do, but our police officers do this daily. Handling soiled linen and cleaning up bodily waste is something most of us avoid where possible, but our carers, nurses and medical professionals do this daily. Madam Deputy Speaker, one Scottish firefighter came to me with her experience of running into burning buildings, but the service didn't have any female-fit fire boots. This is intolerable, a dangerous trip hazard in a perilous situation. In basic frontline protection, we are failing women who are putting their lives on the line. And the horror stories go on. Stab vests, predominantly designed to fit men, they're simply inadequate to fit the body shape of female police officers. Ordinarily, they're too big and too loose. When running, the stab vest slides up and down, hitting against their neck and chin, and encumbrance slowing them down in moments of danger. In one case, a knife slipped under a police officer's garment and she was hospitalised with severe stab wounds. Alternatively, officers are forced to tie them so tight it impairs their breathing. Madam Deputy Speaker, others spoke of needing to alter their PPE just to make it fit. This completely compromises their safety and makes the worker legally liable for accidents on site due to wearing PPE incorrectly. And that's before we even talk about the lack of well-fitting protective clothing for people with disabilities, religious and cultural requirements, and men who don't fit the average size. Women in war zones have reported their oversized body armour cutting their thighs when sat in vehicles traversing rocky terrain. or helmets falling over their eyes. We should not expect our service personnel to enter combat zones if we cannot deliver the body armour and fitted head protection that can save lives. Madam Deputy Speaker, whilst these examples are not limited to public services, the purchasing power of the state represents a sizable portion of the market. The purchase of PPE for our council, care workers, firefighters, armed services and police. This bill will put people at the forefront of PPE procurement, ensuring true fit-to-form protection from sparks and burns, waste and disease, machinery and chemicals. Madam Deputy Speaker, I would like to give special thanks to the people who put so much work into the new BSI standard and helped me learn all things PPE, a subject that was not my forte but has soon become a passion project. Firstly, the BSI drafting panel, superbly led by Sarah Gibbs and Natalie Wilson, and I'm grateful for the inspiration of Roshi Hussain for challenging PPE straight from graduation into various construction sites. Robbie McGregor for all his help, and the GMB team, Mel and Lindsay, for bringing their campaign for inclusive PPE to employers and to the workplace. I must also place on record my thanks to my parliamentary assistant, Angus Walker-Stewart, who very diligently followed me down this rabbit hole. I will also take this opportunity to wish the British Standards Institution a very happy birthday, and it's a big one, 125 years of standardising our rail gauges, plug sockets and now PPE. Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to conclude my proposal of this bill by bringing it back to where I live and where I come from politically. International Workers' Memorial Day falls on the 28th of April every year. In Bathgate, where I live, we gather in Balbardy Park. It is most beautiful in the springtime, with the cherry blossoms welcoming visitors to the park. Now designated a Park of Peace, this old colliery site saw at least 23 fatalities during its operation. International Workers' Memorial Day's motto is Remember the Dead, Fight for the Living, and this new inclusive PPE standard allows us to do just that and help ensure that those who go to work return home once again. With an ambitious plan to upgrade infrastructure and build 1.5 million new homes, this Labour government can lead by example and enshrine BS 30417 or equivalent at the heart of public sector procurement.
The question is that the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Who will prepare and bring in the bill?
Patricia Ferguson, Mike Reader, Susan Murray, Chris Kane, Douglas McAllister, Joanna Baxter, Tracy Gilbert, Elaine Stewart, Lillian Jones and myself, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Kirsteen Sullivan.
Personal Protective Equipment Inclusive Standards Bill.
Second reading what day?
Friday, 17th of April.
Friday the 17th of April.